good evening, wherever you find yourselves in this world of ours. Tonight, we return to Orlando, Ascended, Mage Menu. Mina has some things to do, since she was not able to participate in the assault on Jack. She has family ties and some other discussions to speak with. Our scene will now take us to the Hermetic Chantry.
Mina has been trying to find some financial stuff via Damien's help, but she knows that just providing finances wouldn't help the family. She needs to talk with certain individuals, and she knows her dad is a strong member of the family, the Ardent family. So does her mom. So she is kind of like staying at her place, the her inside of her room. She takes a deep breath and like she kind of waits like for 2 minutes. Her phone, like her finger is at the phone. She's thinking, should I call or not? And then she says, "Fuck it, I'm a call." And she does call her dad.
All right, Mina,
Dad,
nice to hear from you, my daughter.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's quite busy here. A
Hmm,
lot of things are happening at the same time.
I'm sure.
How are you? It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. Typically, when you decide to walk out on the old teachings and just leave to go out and fall under brother's teachings, I wouldn't be surprised that you haven't talked with us in a long time.
Dad, you do realize I came here for Teclis, right? OOC Teclis is brother that was missing.
You're still chasing after that?
Of course I do. He's my brother.
Hmm. Well, I do admire your iron will to continue on, but most everyone else has given up.
I will find Teclis no matter what.
Hmm.
And our family may have difference of views, but we are strong when we stand together.
Indeed, you have resolve, and that is to be praised.
And I'm really sorry if I offended you by not calling you. I was really busy. There was a lot of problems here.
Hmm.
The people were getting killed in
In,
the streets.
indeed, in terms of the news, Orlando has been quite the sub hub.
SubHub?
You hear him pause for a moment, and you hear a little bit of commotion over the phone when he comes back.
Hmm.
A hub of activity.
I'm sorry if I called you in the bad time, by the way.
No, it is fine.
So, there's a thing I wanted to ask.
Go on.
So, our family has two people, two different peoples. The those strong will enough to change the universe, and those who believes what we believe and to aid us.
Go on.
Now, I have a lot of family here, as you know it, but I think it would be much easier and good for us if we all live in the same place. We would use them together.
In other
I'm
words,
looking.
you want us to come down there.
No, the I think that there's a lot of family members. A lot. There's like close to 30 members of our family here who helps me and many others. Our family is big. And as I told you, there's a lot of problems here. You know how it helps when you have people who believes in you when you do rituals. I think about those who are staying, outside, who may want to see different things here, who may want to live in a different city. Maybe can come here to support our family and our interests.
There's a long pause. I can see this as a benefit.
She waits for a but.
There is no but.
I am surprised that you. I am surprised.
You were expecting a rebuttal?
Yes, a bit.
Huh. Well, I have given up on trying to rebuttal you, my dear. Things here have been going quite smoothly, so if you requested more family members, that would be all right. However, you're going to have a bit of a problem. I guess that's why I didn't give you a rebuttal.
What's the problem?
The family members that I am going to send you are fairly new, and you will need to teach them the beliefs and ways all over again. But I am sure that you can be up for it. You've done it before, welcoming new family members into the fold. I
Hmm.
will not give you any that are already set, but I will give you some that, through time and effort, can be believed and to increase your power.
That is, yeah, yeah. That would be quite nice. I can teach them.
Very
I'm a
good.
teacher after all.
Then I will send them your way.
Um, I would they be able to take care of themselves, or I need to financially help them?
They can take care of themselves.
Okay.
Granted, you may need to add a little bit of aid here or there.
Okay. Okay. How is mom? Is she okay?
Mom is fine. There have been times when she misses you greatly, but she has to learn that you are no longer the young girl that she knew a long time ago.
There was just breathing from Mina's side, and she says, "Yeah,
There has been quite a bit of activity up here in Pennsylvania.
but what kind of activity?"
Oh, a town that was abandoned for a while due to the dangerous gases that the humans foolishly put over them, probably due to lies of the technocracy. Interesting place. Have you ever heard of it? It's called Silent Hill.
No.
Hmm. Most of the chantries up here have been investigating some new spiritual activity.
There is a
Mi-
lot of weird activity here as well.
Mina, that name rings a bell for you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the name of the town that Clea was investigating.
Mm-hmm. What's going on in Silent Hill?
The local dream speakers up here think that there is going to be a spiritual opening, as they call it. A
Opening.
a possible, shall we say, very small avatar storm. So we are working to prevent it.
The Avatar Storm, is it the is it going to make Avatar stronger or weaker?
Weaker.
Hmm.
Something is siphoning energy up here. And what some of the Chantries tell me is that there is something very interesting going on down there in Orlando, too.
There is a thing coming from the east as well. Oh, see, I
Ah,
think it was east.
you're correct.
It's quite strange. I actually need to look at that one as well. I was busy with finding a killer. There's a lot of problems. There's a corporation called Pentix that everyone is talking about.
Be careful with those ones, Mina.
I'm. I didn't even go outside of the chantry. I'm getting better at correspondence these days. I usually help fighters to get better at what they do and teach people how to farm. But there's also a lot of, to me, having a liberal or an open mind can be quite good. But it also has its lacking, lacking. I don't know how to say this. I understand your point of view and the Uncle Xavier's point of view. I understand both of you. I did not turn back my back to traditional nature of our order or my family. I am an
Good.
ardent true and true.
You're learning, Mina. Very good.
But there are things I disagree that you do, and there are things I disagree that Uncle Xavier does. It doesn't mean I am probably wrong because I don't have the experience that you two has. But as avatar storms, these can be connected. What happens when you look at your sites? What happened? Like maybe correspondence site can give us a thing.
We have been having difficulty with it.
I might have to come there with someone to check that place out.
I wouldn't mind.
Silent
Mina,
Hill
who? Yes, Mina, who is this one known as Deacon Frost?
and a Fondi.
Hmm. There's a very long, like 10, 15-minute pause.
Mhm.
Huh. All right. Well, you
Why?
do what you want, Mina. Oh, nothing.
What do you mean nothing now, Dad?
Just a name that dropped.
I'm not working with an Fondi.
Oh, I don't think you're working with Nafandi. It was just a name that dropped.
What's going on? I don't understand what's going on.
What do you mean you don't understand what's going on?
You said the name drop. You asked me what's Deacon Frost is. I told you. Then you went silent and you went all knowing and all planning again. You become your cunning self. So I
Oh,
would rather know what's going on.
when we were doing research on this town, we found that name. I just wanted to ask if you knew anything. Most of our archive experts can't find any information on him at all.
You know, when an Afandi wants you to look at somewhere, they're probably doing something bad. It's somewhere else.
I see.
I'm not expert about them, but it's something I would do as well.
Hmm.
Why you would want to waste someone's time by making something so open that it would take everyone's time to fix? Either you want to make people weak, and why you would want to make people weak so they can't deal with you. These are all presumptions, but I need to talk with Uncle Xavier now.
Pauses.
try to.
He says good luck, and then he hangs up.
God damn it! Why I feel like I'm talking to a child as she stops the phone, and tries to find Uncle Xavier.
You do find Uncle Xavier in his office, mulling over his cane,
Hmm.
kind of looking at it.
He knocks the door. She knocks the door. May I come in?
Just as you're about to reach your fist to knock at the door, he
Hmm.
says, "Come in."
She comes in. I'm sorry, Mentor Xavier. There's a thing I wish to talk.
By all means, Mina.
I talked with my dad today.
Mm-hmm. How is my brother?
She takes a deep breath and says, like a kid as always.
Ah, yes. Do you want to know what I've learned recently?
She nods.
Despite being as old as I am, I always wondered what made the difference between those who are willing to act and those who are not. Between those that have an open mind and can adapt, between those that are stuck in the evolutionary cesspool, as the humans, I think, call it. It's a very interesting step. There are 3 steps to each one of these paths. The first is fear. It's quite an experience to live in fear. When you are a slave to the world around you, when you are in that precipice of being able to do nothing and having the world completely smash you under its heel, it teaches you a little bit of humbleness, which goes a long way. The second step is realizing that to care for others is beneficial, but is also a weakness. And to be able to gain strength with the weakness makes you even stronger, for you have a weakness that is easily exploitable, and yet you can still defend and rise above. It is a challenge and an effort that also teaches humbleness. Third, you have to lose. For it is only through loss and defeat that our true concepts of character come out. For those who always win are those who never learn. It's interesting that it took me so long to find those 3 paths.
There are things that I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the words that you have, but some choices you have made. But I think I am wrong as you have more experience.
Nonsense. To have conflict is the way of life. If there was no conflict, there would be no knowledge. And if there was no knowledge, we would be nothing.
But you are a mentor. I am your higher in power.
Indeed. But if
Therefore,
you
I
did
am
not
wrong.
know, or if you did not question me, if you did not question everything, then you will never seek knowledge. You will only seek what I choose to give you and take it without question. This is a fallacy. You must question me, question everything. Or how do you know that I am not deceiving you? Hmm?
There are more powerful mages in this place than I am. The Bob, the handsome person. I don't remember his name because he's too
Hmm.
handsome. Um, they can question you and challenge you. I can't. Oh, see, she is playing her rose-colored glasses flaw.
Oh yeah, I know. He's I know, but
Mhm.
he's teaching her a lesson here.
Yeah.
Um, he says, "I understand, and sooner or later it will take time. But what I am trying to teach you right now is that there is only for us magi. There's really only one thing you can ever trust, and even then, you can't always trust them, and that is your avatar. The heart and the mind can be tricked. That is why you must think for yourself as to which is correct. If you take my words and my teachings all to heart without ever questioning them, you may be led astray, for you never know. You never, ever know."
Hmm. It is hard for a person who has rose-colored glasses to think in a certain way, outside of their view, especially. So
Oh no,
Mina is like nodding, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
she needs to like it needs more. It needs more probably,
Oh yeah, I
but she
know. Oh
is
yeah,
nodding.
oh yeah.
Like,
It's like literally that is the reason why he's doing it constantly is
mhm,
because he's slowly trying to break her of it. But yeah, it's going to be a long
mhm.
time.
My dad told me that there's a place called Silent Hill.
Hmm.
That there's an avatar storm that is about to happen there, and they found a name called Deacon Frost, and he asked me what Deacon Frost is.
Hmm. Well, from what I remember from Clea's research, Deacon Frost was a tenant of that place who stayed behind when they told everyone to evacuate.
Wasn't he an Effendi?
He indeed was. But remember, the Nefandi usually aren't always Nefandi. They started as something before they became what they
Hmm.
are now.
The is this Silent Hill is the east of this city?
This is in Pennsylvania, and you're we're in Orlando, so it would be north.
Okay, so there's two different avatar storms.
Apparently,
There's about to happen in two different places, and I know that Clea wanted to investigate this.
indeed. And although the Avatar storm in Pennsylvania is small, very very small compared to the one we have at our shores, it definitely would be worth investigating.
Would it help it here? What we have here?
That I cannot say.
I have seen a lot of people creating wonders. I have heard about the Lord Saisho's sword. So does Damien's sword. I want to create my own wonder, but I am unable to come up with something that would help me. Or where do I need help?
In other words, you are in smut, as they say.
What is smut?
In other words, you cannot think of anything to come up. You're in a trap, so to speak.
I
There is a
am.
wall that you must climb. I see. Uh, well, perhaps you would gain inspiration from either your fellow hermetics or other traditions.
I was thinking about a staff.
He kind of holds out the one he's holding, something
Yeah.
to this effect.
Yes.
Perhaps you should take a closer look at this one, and he just mildly tosses it to you.
She does tries to catch it, but like she is not a very athletic person.
You stumble with it, but you do catch it.
Mm-hmm. She tries to keep it like it's a very important thing, and she tries to like
Well,
understand what it is.
when you take a closer look at it, you can see the round head is engraved with the symbol of the Order of Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at it with prime?
Prime forces, whatever. She looks at whatever she has. She wants to see everything she can.
This is a wonder, and it is powerful. This is the staff of Hermes.
Her eyes kind of gets crazy big. No, you didn't.
It's actually not quite what you think. As you can see, it's more of a cane than a staff. But if you must know what I did, he leans in very close to you, and his eyes almost glowing
Mm-hmm.
silver. I managed to recreate it myself. That is not the staff of Hermes. It is my staff of Hermes. After all, I committed the trials, and the order. I asked the order to give me what was due, since I passed my trials and I did everything I was supposed to. The staff was supposed to be mine. The order refused, so I left, came here to Orlando, and made my own.
You're still in or you're still Order of Hermes. It's just very different city.
Oh,
She
of
kind of
course.
looks questioningly.
You just want to know why I left the more traditionalist path. That is one of the acts, the events that led me down the path I'm on now.
What this staff can accomplish.
We, Order of Hermes, our sphere is of forces. We command the elements of fire, earth, water, air, sound, gravity,
Gravity.
etc. This has been our specialty, although we merely bend the elements to our will without actually controlling them. But it's said that long ago, whether you are a mage or whether you are one of the kindred or the wolves, or even the fae, the stories that of Earth's creation are different to all of us. Putting everything together from the stories that I have heard of all of us. From what I think happened, there was a grand celestial spirit or god, whichever you prefer, in ancient Greece who made a deal. They would infuse the power to actually control the elements, which, if you read the wolf stories, was actually bending the spirits of fire, earth, air, and water to their will, and put it into a staff. This staff would allow its wielder to control the elements with ease, regardless of their level of magical knowledge.
That's why I couldn't control the fire in your hand.
Mhm. Fire in my hand was my own fire. It was no spirit or outside force. There was no way you would take it from me. It was my own fire.
So the staff allows you to do it better than any other.
In a manner of speaking. It also can store massive amounts of energy and can increase the effectiveness of what I do as well.
How does it increase the effect of what you do?
It makes everything tremendously easy.
So I guess I'm not getting this staff for a long time, but She smiles when she says it, and then says,
When you are ready, I will teach you how to make your own. But yes, you have a long ways to go until you can make something to this magnitude.
"I there's a lot of combat going on. I am terrible at combat. I don't
Not
know how
all
to
of
use a sword, firearms. I can't even run properly. I run with my mind.
There are many forms of combat, my dear. You don't always need a gun or a sword or athleticism to be a combatant.
I prefer to fight with my wand.
Then you shall have to adapt.
But can we make my wand in a way that would make me better at combat?
It is
Because
possible, but it's possible, but I think, my dear, you're already better at combat than you realize. I will teach you a little trick, a rote, so to speak.
hmm
You are skilled in the sphere of forces, yes?
yes,
This has been a very common rote amongst our order. However, it is not often taught to newbies due to its dangerous effects. Light is an interesting force. It is the way everything sees the world, and yet it is the greatest lie. For our eyes are easy to trick. But all they do is read light and send it to our brain. The rote I am going to teach you is called the rote of the blinding eye, or as some people like to call the rote of the blindfold. You have correspondence now, Mina, meaning you can control focal points of magic. Take two focal points, one in front of each of your opponent's eyes, directly in front of their eyes, and you use the sphere of forces to divert all light away from their eyes. This is just one way to do it. There's also ways using life and other things to do it as well. But you can
they
create
would be blind.
yes, you can create a sphere, if you will, around their eyes where all light is diverted away. They cannot see. An opponent who cannot see, truly see, is one who is a lot weaker.
She nods. I also have the Expelliarmus. That's one of my perfect creations, by the way. She says with she like this is my favorite creation.
You did indeed do well with that.
I you allow me to use the node. I don't know if I need more or this is a question I wanted to ask because I came here with my node and then my node added to yours. You did something with it. But there's another chantry in the city now. And you said that the Sayuro would be very useful, especially more than Saisho, because she can be talked to.
Mm-hmm.
Sayuro asked me to find about the family members of the, or like anything I can find about this Giovanni. Anything that guy
Ah,
left,
yes.
anything that guy left, she wants to find out and do what she wants to do. I presume it's cold-blooded murder.
I know someone who you could speak with.
I, she smiles and then says, I told her that I would help her, but I also asked help about Teclis.
Let me worry about that. But I have someone you can contact for information.
Okay.
His name is Victor. A very powerful and wealthy individual. He can find what you're looking
Is this a demon?
for. No, not quite. Although I'm sure some call their kind that.
Is this a kindred now?
Whatever you wish to call him. Yes. I assure you he is not Tremere, if that is what you're worried about.
It is. I'm still new
There is
regarding
only
dealing.
there is only one Tremere in the entire world that I trust. As far as I'm concerned, the others are out to kill all of us.
Who is this Tremere?
A man named Marco, over in Italy. He is an undercover for us, so to speak, watching the Giovanni. Because the Giovanni can cause problems for us as well, especially those of the Dream Speaker tradition.
I will talk with this Victor.
Very good.
Will I be owing something to him?
Thinks for a moment, and then he reaches into his coat pocket and he tosses you a gold coin. It almost looks like a Spanish doubloon.
Yeah, thank you.
Give him that, and you will not owe him anything for a while.
For a while.
Indeed. After all, much like our kind, their kind deals in certain currency. He tends to deal in boons, and then he points down at the coin, and those, which you gain for doing favors for him. It's an interesting fellow, an interesting setup. If you do favors for him, it's still a favor, and it's considered a 50-50. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But in return, he gives out these to those who do favors for him, which can then be used in his organization for resources, weapons, information, sanctum, you name it. Interesting little setup.
I will talk with this person and then give that information to Sayuro. But do you need more chantries? You don't have you have the newbie chantry. And I don't think I need to start with them. I like Damien. Jesse doesn't even say hi to me when he sees me. You know how traditionalist people would see it, and I actually close to see it that way anyway.
He nods.
He's an initiate. But there's the student of Merlin. Dahlia is quite competent, and I promised her that I actually would put a correspondence award to her place. I should do that quite soon.
Indeed, you have made a promise.
Yes, and there is Cyro. Do you need more chantries? Because Cyro will need someplace. If we work together, then why not create a cabal that works together?
If you can somehow make it work with that woman, by all means, go ahead.
She isn't happy with the newbie chantry. There may be conflict in the future between them.
Indeed, there may be. And when that time comes, we'll be ready for it.
Will we take a side?
We will, of course, side with our order, as we always do.
She nods. Lastly, my sanctum is doing quite fine. It's a 20 years of work. For final stage, what would I need? I need to make it better. I think I can feed it quintessence.
For the final stage, you must have energy or quintessence. You must have items. You must have belief. That is what you will need for the next step.
Items.
The more important the item is to your tradition, to your paradigm, the better.
I can try to see if there's, untaken nodes in the city and I can get quintessence from them and then feed it to my sanctum.
Be very careful
Correspondence.
while doing this.
That's true.
For the act of drawing quintessence is easily noticed by some.
I'm not trying to steal from anyone. I want to make sure it's not taken from hold by anyone.
Of course. There is someone you can seek out if you need quintessence.
Who?
I can tell you her name. Just a moment. Her name is Victoria Lorenz. She owns a fitness gym, not too far from here. She is a dream speaker.
It's been a long time since I met the dream speaker. I will meet with this individual.
Gives a little bit of a nod.
Any way I can find items? She says with a smile.
That all depends on you, Nina, and your paradigm,
Yeah.
your tradition, what you consider to be valuable to your way of magic.
Thank you for all the lessons. I will reach Clea. She doesn't seem to like the idea of reaching Clea, but she doesn't say anything else. I'm sorry for stealing your time.
No, nonsense. Time well used is never wasted. And he goes back to what looks like a Order of Hermes style of meditation.
She will leave, and I think that can be the moment we end our scene if you want to.
And there we have it. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another day in Orlando Ascended. Y'all have a good